Alright guys, it's Schla, and first and foremost, the previous episode has been recorded outside of the Whisper Notes app, and that is due to some experimenting that I was potentially going to partake in with using the recording app and thinking that I could import that into this app, but we're actually going to do it the other way around because I kind of like this app more. So I think we're just going to record directly into the Whisper Notes app, and then we can actually import into the other app, which will make us able to export it as a video. So that way we can kind of get through the transfer issues. So that's a pretty good thing. And yeah, I don't know what else I really wanted to talk about, but I'm pretty excited about that. It's kind of nice, kind of awesome. And so I'm looking forward to it. So we're back on Whisper Notes. I think I really like this app. And we can just export to the other app. So there will be an episode. Well, actually it's not lost because it'll still exist recorded. It's not going to be in the Whisper Notes. But that's okay, because a lot of these episodes, it's really almost like the rough draft, right? It's not really the final draft. And I'm thinking of a new way of doing this. So I've had an iPhone 13 mini that is essentially in brand new condition. The battery health is 98%. And I mean, I guess honestly, at some point, that might be worth a decent amount of money. In all honesty, I didn't really think about that until this moment, but I honestly think, especially if it was a higher storage capacity, I mean, sadly it isn't a higher storage capacity, but yeah, I wonder if I could actually sell that for, because I don't think there's a single blemish on it, and yeah, I don't know, pretty interesting. But I've had this 13 mini. And I mean, the reason why I haven't used it is a whole other stupid story, really. I mean, I don't know that I really need to get into it, but I probably will briefly, just because, I mean, why not at this point? I had first wanted the 13 mini because at the time I was very interested in small technology, and it felt pretty meta and, well, I mean, probably more like counterculture, like counter meta, to be like obsessive over small screens, whereas everybody's screens are getting bigger. So seemed like a super cool idea. And I had bought the 14-inch MacBook Pro, and at first I was a little bit upset, but then I became kind of at peace with it. So then we have the iPhone 13 mini, and that's why I got it. Now, shortly after, I didn't have a job at the time, and I finally got my driver's license, and so I was going to start doing DoorDash, and I wanted to be able to do DoorDash, so I wanted to get a bigger phone, so I just got the 14 Plus. I mean, it was really silly. I was basically in a manic episode when I did it, and yeah, not one of my better decisions in life, but we all have mistakes. Some people, it's you know, I don't know, doing drugs. Other people, it's buying phone plans. And I couldn't really think of anything else to really come up with there. I don't know. We all make our mistakes in different ways, and the wind's picking up, so the quality of this recording is probably going to be fairly low. But what can you do? And but yeah, so I've had this 13 mini. I think the worst part is it only has the 128 gigabytes on it, so that's not really great. But these audios I don't really think take up much storage, so we should be able to make do. And honestly, the 13 mini makes more sense even from a logistics perspective. Yeah, I'm trying to think of how to do this now because the wind is so heating up. I'm thinking I should probably have it closer to my mouth than usual, honestly. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully this is a good idea. Hopefully I'm using my brain, because again, you have to avoid plosives, but you also want to be as close as possible. So there's like two things going on, but I actually think holding it like right next to my mouth, if I really had to guess, haven't been thinking about it much, but that probably is the most ideal, because you're probably not going to get plosives, but I could be dead wrong and this recording could be tarnished. But again, we're in the testing phase and a lot of these issues should be solved anyway, because what I'm getting to with this plan is that I have this 13 mini and it's just lying around hoping to be used. It's actually an incredibly portable, handy, lightweight thing, and it would be perfect for the type of use that I want to use it for, you know? It's actually lighter in weight than the Air because of just how much smaller it is. And so, yeah, I mean, it's almost like I've had the phone there the whole time. Now, there's obviously still many advantages to the Air. The Air is still technically more optimal. Its CPU is going to be much faster at transcription when it comes to the, transcribing, so it still would be an advantage. But here's kind of the thing that's cool is the microphone I want to get that plugs right into the end is actually incredibly cheap right now. So because they made a Lightning port variant and a USB-C port variant, and then Apple has ditched the Lightning port, the Lightning port version is available for ridiculously cheap. So I can basically get the mic and try it out, and if I really didn't like it or something, it doesn't even matter because of how dirt cheap it is. So it's essentially like a really cheap way for me to just test things out. And then if I really wanted to invest more money in it and thought that the iPhone Air would be better or something, I could then do so, but it would only be after like a thorough testing with the 13 mini. So I think it's a very good idea. Just a super low cost, super high value way of making things happen. That's kind of where I'm at. And I think it'll be a pretty interesting thing for me. I don't know, that's kind of where we're at right now. So I'll probably buy it when I get a chance to today, or I'm probably going to make an offer for it at least and see if the price can actually be whittled down even further. We'll see what the seller is willing to do, and yeah, I think that's pretty much what I have to say about that. So it is pretty exciting, but in the meantime, I'm still going to be using this mic which, especially for the wind, is not really going to be good. But when I get the new mic, the outdoor recording conditions should improve pretty dramatically, and I'm pretty excited about that, obviously. And yeah, so that's all that I really wanted to talk about in terms of that. In terms of any other things that I had to say, I don't really know. Still haven't really done much with GPT today, whereas yesterday I was very hyper and happy about GPT. So I don't really know what the deal with that is really about. But I don't know. I think it's probably a good thing because I'm not just automatically dependent on it. It's just something I like to use, and of course it's fun to use, but it's not like I really use it that much. Oh, well, no, I mean, I shouldn't sugarcoat it. I do use GPT probably way more than most people, and then specifically the things that I use it for are fairly deep, fairly reflective. The length, the amount of text that it's processing from me is probably way above average. So I think that's pretty safe to say. Now, the caveat to that is because I recently watched this video that I don't really know if it was over dramatized, but there's this concept about AI psychosis, and I don't really think that I've personally experienced anything like that, because a lot of the stuff people talk about, it just sounds pretty crazy to me. Like, I don't know. And what was the term they used? I forget it. That really bugs me because it was an interesting word. Sycophant. Yeah, like sycophantic is what the AI does, so it is very supportive, and I guess in some ways that correlated with car rides with schla a little bit, although I really would not say that was really it, because I still, that came from me, like I guess I don't fully remember, but I do know for certain it was definitely my own idea. What I don't remember is if I actually ran it by GPT or not, but I probably didn't. I mean, the original concept for car rides with schla was very much a original thought or like original concept of mine. And that's kind of the thing I've noticed with AI, is that it's kind of uncommon or unusual for it to... I've actually said this concept before in my car rides with schla, but what else is new? I repeat myself a lot. That's just kind of how it goes. But AI really does act like a mirror. It oftentimes does not strike a new or genius idea. So you sort of have to leave it alone and wait for your own brain and mind to kind of come up with new information. And then once you present that to the AI just makes it a bit more entertaining and digestible for you to interact with, if that makes any sense. So yeah, it's not like, it's just something I always feel like I want to say, because I don't want people to think that my ideas are like not my own and that they're coming from the AI, because that's not really what happens. Like, I really don't think that most of my original ideas have actually originated from the AI itself, It's usually me coming to my own conclusion, and yeah, I guess that's all there really is to it. I'm not really sure what else to say about that, but I just always feel like that's relevant to point out, because I guess I'm pretty prideful of my own ideas. But, you know, at the same time, that is very illusory. I wonder how you say that. I wonder if that's an actual word, and which of the 3 or 4 ways I just said that is the correct way to say illusory. I feel like it would be illusory, because illusion, illusory, but then like loser, it kind of sounds like losery. Now I don't even remember what I was talking about. Oh boy. Oh, you know what was interesting though? Because I actually did want to listen back to the previous episode, because I personally, while I was speaking it, thought it came out pretty rough. But then listening back to it, I mean, I'm not really, there's not necessarily always substance to my words, but it was still actually pretty pleasant to listen to, which I think is fairly interesting, right? Because it's like, I really in the moment thought that I was maybe not speaking 100% or kind of losing track of things, but the truth is, I think a lot of times my speech is very automatic. I mean, I don't even know really where it's coming from or what I'm doing half the time. It's definitely an autopilot activity. I mean, even in this case, it's like, wow, 16 minutes went by. That's crazy. Like, to me, that just totally flashed by at like a really rapid speed. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's sort of just something, I love to talk, and I that's why I hope to kind of work on this, and at least if I can cultivate it enough over time, not only will I have like a super vast library of my voice, but I will also have the most important thing, which is practice. Because when it comes to practice, I've barely really consistently practiced talking. I mean, I would basically call people whenever I could, but it's not like people are that available very often these days. And so I wouldn't really have all that much time to cultivate the skill. Or if I did, it would just be talking to myself, which that's not particularly useful, is it? You know, it's just talking to myself. And what good is that, you know? So now it's like I'm getting into more of a rhythm where it's becoming second nature to just take out my phone and start recording, which I think is very important and relevant, you know, when you think about it. And yeah, I guess that's the change that has occurred, is that, you know, it's been a very good thing for me in that regard. And I already explained kind of how it snuck in, I think, in a previous car ride with Schla, but I would have these questions, and I would obviously ask GPT because I would want the answer, and I originally didn't like I only liked texting. I didn't really like to use transcription or text-to-speech, but then I eventually became accustomed to it and realized that it's actually a superior method of communication. So yeah, eventually it just became pretty second nature to me, you know, to just have just to start transcribing. And so it got to the point where recording became very second nature, you know? And that was really when the real breakthrough kind of occurred. Because now, see, I wonder if I'm even gonna, you guys have probably noticed, but I'm really trying to pick up the pace now with my walking, because I got a little bit in my head sidetracked out here, and I may have to actually break into a jog. I definitely should actually break into a jog. So my fault, but I'm going to have to do this because I kind of lost track of time and I'm a little bit far away from my work. So I got to get back there because I've kind of been out here for too long. Like I was saying, I tend to, when I talk, it's entertaining for me. It's, you know, and I mean, hey, someday we could even be doing this where it's like, while I'm running, like the jogging, I could be recording while I'm jogging. I've definitely thought about that before too. Run-Switch-Law. I just haven't really put in too much effort to execute it because I was kind of thinking it could be a little bit awkward. But yeah, I've definitely thought about Run-Switch-Law before. Don't doubt it. And that would, I mean, I stopped running. I just needed like a little bit of a narrowing or a little bit of a pickup to my destination. But yeah, Run-Switch-Law would be super cool. I just have to think of a way that would be possible, because holding the phone near my face while running is a little bit crazy. I mean, I would need like a truly wireless setup, I think. I don't know how I would actually pull it off, so yeah, it is what it is, but I would definitely be down to do it. Run-Switch-Law, you know. Pretty fire idea, pretty fire concept, and yeah, I don't think there's too much else to that. But I remember what I was going to say earlier is that really my ideas are not necessarily my own, and it's possible that another human came up with them before. So it is kind of silly to be having an ownership over ideas, because nobody's ideas are really their own, and just kind of silly the whole way things work. So that was what I was going to say earlier, but I had forgotten to say it. So just wanted to clear that up. How, yeah, I don't actually, there's no reason to be prideful over thoughts or ideas, because everybody has thoughts and ideas. It's not particularly special. I mean, I guess if I really had something groundbreaking, maybe that would justify that, but I don't think that's too common or too often that people are actually like that. Anyways, it's been schla, but now it's time to buy schla. So, see ya schla.